What's going on, everybody? This is your boy Marcus, man, and I'm here as the host and the mediator of the No Hesi Hoopcast. We'd like to welcome you into another week of Hoop Talks. But before I go any further, let's hear from the fellas. Black, how you doing today, brother?
I'm doing good, man. It's been a long, busy week, man. But I'm feeling better. My health is feeling pretty decent right now, man. I hope you guys are staying safe out there as well.
Man, that's good. Leak, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great, man. I'm excellent. Glad to be back Monday for the No Hesi joint. And shout out to Martin Luther King for Martin Luther King Day. You know what I mean? So
absolutely,
let's get it.
Absolutely, man. So before we get going too deep into this, we want to encourage everybody to hit that subscription button and also hit that bell notification so you can be a part of the Hoopcast. Then we're doing this Hoopcast every single Monday, so you definitely want to be a part of that, y'all. Man, so
it's episode 25, man.
Oh, shout out.
We deep now, man.
Yeah, that's a big number.
Quarter of a century.
Yep.
Facts. So, fellas, man, I mean, it's week 5, and the league is already giving season finale vibes, man. We had a huge week. But before we get too deep, let's start with the pick'ems from last week. Fellas, let's start with Leak. Leak, how many wins did you get on last week's pick'ems?
So I messed around and told y'all what I got prior to the show started, and Black just looked at me like I was an idiot because he's like, I'm not going to reveal mine till the show. So I know now for next week I'm not going to do that again. But there's 2 games that were postponed, I believe, right?
They're 4.
4 games. Okay, 4 games. So there are 10 games as far as our pick'em. So I ended up going 5-5, getting 500.
What you got, Black?
Hey, yo, do we have like a drum roll type beat? Nah, I got 5 too.
Come on, man. Yo,
so we have 2 ties on our.
Hey, you lucky it's Martin Luther King Day, man. I was about to say.
We got 2 ties now. That's so whack.
Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting as we go forward in the season. But I got 2 ties, so we're keeping tally on that. But guys, let's get straight to it, man. You know, this is what we all been waiting for. The James Harden saga continues. I'm gonna just turn it over to you guys, man, and get your take on Harden, all things Harden, because there's so much to get into. Black, we're gonna start with you. What's your take on everything that's happening with James?
Man, it's almost like him and Kyrie Irving are competing for the most toxic player in the league this year, right? the MTP, the most toxic player. Honestly, man, I'm a little hot, man. I'm hot about this, y'all.
Yeah.
If I may be very, very honest, very candid with y'all, I'm hot. Why? Because I feel like the way he went about getting the trade, I mean, throughout the offseason, there were rumblings and we knew the writings were on the wall. But I mean, basically, he threw a tantrum, man. He threw a tantrum, he got his way, and now he's on a team that he wanted, that was on the short list. You know what I'm saying? Like we're rewarding this type of behavior, it seems. And, that hurts me as a hoop fan, man. Lee, how do you feel?
No, I agree with you, and I agree with Maestro. He said Harden wore a fat suit to finesse the Rockets.
He was looking like Eddie Murphy out there, right?
This whole situation is just wild, man. Like, to watch him hooping right here, you know what I mean? Like, just happy and carefree. Being out of that situation, something just doesn't feel right about it. You know what I mean? Like, it just seems like like a finesse. Like he got his way. Like he threw a fit, basically complained his way out of Houston, and it's so wild because they gave him the ultimate green light, the fluorescent green light while he was there, as far as ball handling, shooting. Everything was at his disposal. So for him to kind of go about it like that was a little interesting. Man, I'm just kind of blown away by him actually getting to Brooklyn, right?
Right.
Like, and it's funny because now Karis LeVert, right? Inside and we'll get to the trade, but he's out indefinitely. To me, it just kind of shows like the bad vibes around, like, saying James Harden's travel situation. You know what I mean? Like somebody got out on the short end of the stick, basically.
Yeah, and also, the damage he left in his wake in order to get to Brooklyn, too, right? I mean, he alienated himself from his teammates. I mean, anytime John Wall and DMC are the voices of reason in your locker room, I mean, that's a problem, right? Yeah. I mean, we were calling DMC a cancer a few years ago, and he sounded like the most logical player in that locker room right now, right?
Right.
So that just shows you how toxic James Harden has been this season. I mean, we talked about it here on No Hesi. He was at the strip club, no mask, doing what he does, throwing bread up, and did not care enough to show up to the training camp. So we knew right off rip what type of time James Harden's on. The bigger question now is, you got James Harden, you got KD, and you got Kyrie all in the same locker room. What's that looking like week 3? Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? What's that looking like come playoff time? It looks combustible to me. I don't know about y'all, man.
Absolutely.
No, absolutely. I mean, like I said, KD's, we're not going to see him lash out until later on in the season, but he's definitely licking his chops as far as attacking James Harden. I know personally, him and Kyrie, I think KD's got a little more reservation as far as going after Kyrie's head top, but he will before the playoffs start. Best believe that. But James Harden, they know each other from way back. They got history. KD's gonna chomp that man's head off.
All these guys. All these guys know each other.
Also, we've seen every iteration of the KD, James Harden, and Russell Westbrook trio now officially. We've seen all three together. We've seen KD and Westbrook after James left. We've seen Westbrook and Harden in Houston. And now we're seeing KD and Harden in Brooklyn. So we've seen it all. It's official, which is really strange, right? 3 MVP players too.
Honestly, from the Nets organization standpoint, I think this move was made obviously after the recent events with Kyrie, but I think this move was made as insurance. Basically, like, hey, we don't know what Kyrie we're going to be getting. We don't know if he's going to play, if he's going to retire. So we got to make a move. We're in win now mode. I mean, we've already cashed out for KD to come here. We've already kind of blew our load, so to speak. So it's like, we got to make a move now, basically. And James Harden sitting back, he's looking at KD like, hey, bruh. Hey, I don't know what Kyrie talking about. Hey, I think we can win, bro.
Right.
Hey, I think we got a winning franchise, bro. To be honest, I don't know if we even need Kyrie, but hey, we gonna keep that on the low.
James is definitely like, hey, Kyrie tripping, bro. I'm good. Bro. Hey, me and KD can do it ourselves, honestly, bro. I mean, we ain't even tripping like that.
Hey, question to y'all, because obviously all 3 of these guys are high volumes shooters. I'm not even gonna say scorers, shooters. Mm-hmm. I mean, is it realistic to think that none of these guys are gonna have to sacrifice a piece of their game in order to create a winning atmosphere?
Oh, there will be sacrifice. Yeah. Oh, there will be sacrifice, and whether that's successful or not, that's the question. But they will attempt to sacrifice. They absolutely have to. I see Harden more as the playmaker in all of this. I see him as more the point guard, kind of. I see Kyrie as being weaponized now, right? Like on some, you know what I mean? Like on some like Kyrie.
Isn't that why he left Cleveland?
Oh, he left. Yeah.
He didn't want to be a
right.
weapon
That's
no
right.
more. He
That's
wanted to
right.
be a
That's
point
right.
guard. That's what he said.
No, I agree. That is why he left. Yeah.
And listen, I already know that the No Hesi community, man, the comment champions are ready to come for my head top. I already know because I've been going back and forth with Kyrie this entire pod. All right. And I don't care. I don't care what y'all say. All right. I'm just viewing the game as it comes to me. All right. That's how I view the game. And right now, I do see flaw in Kyrie. All right.
Yeah. I think the thing is, man, I see Kyrie as the piece that will blow up the whole thing. Because just think about it. He wasn't happy with his role in Cleveland, and he wasn't happy with those young Bulls in Boston. He raised a stink there because the young guys was getting a little come up. And so I think what's gonna happen is someone's gonna be forced to have less. It's just gonna happen. And I think Kyrie will be that guy, and I think he's gonna raise the biggest stink. So I don't see this lasting long term. It's gonna be watching the soap opera, man. And
hold on, Leak, please go back to that, man.
Yeah, let's go to that.
Okay, yeah.
Please pull up that graphic again, man. Y'all see the cap, right?
Yeah.
No Hesi community. Do y'all see the James Harden cap? You know what I mean? Now all of a sudden he's trying to raise his teammate grade.
Right.
Yo, Brooklyn Nets, great team win! ! We didn't even have 11 tonight at Kyrie Irving. Scary hours. Wow.
It's cap.
Get this guy out of here, man.
Yeah.
What?
Hey,
He literally just blew his way out of Houston and threw his whole team under the bus.
Right.
Through John Wall, through DNC, through Christian Woods, through PJ Tucker, all under the bus just so he could get to Brooklyn.
Look at it.
D Wade, let's talk about this narrative. James Harden looks happy, and there's no price tag for that feeling. Could he have handled things better? Yes. But couldn't we all? I'm happy for this black man. Clap.
Hey, D Wade basically on some old don't you drown his black boy joy.
Right.
That's black boy magic right there. All right.
Yo, I'm gonna be 100, man. I ain't even got no comments on that, B. I'm gonna be 100, man. Like,
hey, the thing is, yo, hey, are we really listening to D Wade, the talking head? That's another topic for another day, but
right.
Hey, you get canceled for coming at D Wade. You best believe that, right?
Right.
Hey, so look, that's not it. That's not it. So we also
Skip wants to see me publicly chastised for my Kyrie takes.
Right. Look at this, James Harden. We do all this talking about uplifting the next African-American athlete / male. And some of these ex-NBA players use national TV or their own social media to do the opposite. I see it. I just stay to myself. The real never lose. Salute to D Wade for being solid. Like I said, man, I'm not trying to get canceled. So anytime we see a comment from Dwayne Wade or regarding Dwayne Wade, I'm definitely going to hold my peace as because all I think about are certain things whenever D Wade talks now.
Yeah.
Hey, and those things that I think about have nothing to do with championship rings anymore. All right. which is a damn shame. Right?
D Wade's on his post NBA Mamba push, right?
Right.
He dropped the doc shortly after the retirement. He wanted to have his he wanted to have his farewell tour. Yeah. It was sloppy.
Right.
All right.
Very sloppy.
And now he's trying to get into the talking head game. I'm not here for it.
Hey,
what I will say is James Harden, shame on you for using that card.
Yeah.
Like just because you guys are just because you guys share a background doesn't mean you're above reproach. All right.
Right. And also
he handled it bad.
He's not staying to himself. He's going to the strip club, right? So he's not staying to himself. And listen, and Maestro, Kyrie needs to retire or something. He has all the talent, but super toxic to every team he plays for. Well, Maestro, that's more of an issue for those organizations that give him contracts, not necessarily Kyrie. He's an exceptional player. Retire? That's a bit much, Maestro. I gotta say, man. I'm not gonna call you a casual, but all right.
Hey, Maestro and Stephen A. Smith share the same sentiments.
Yeah.
Word.
Yeah, Stephen A. said the same thing last week, which I
Okay.
thought was
Stephen A. said that Kyrie should retire.
Hey, so Maestro actually has substance to this narrative then, right?
Maestro's sources are telling him that Kyrie should retire.
Shout out to Maestro 1906. He's got professional sources, so absolutely. He sat out all week. Yeah, he's been out all week. I agree.
Yeah,
I agree. So look, Skip says, so should NBA teams just stop giving him contracts? I mean, they're not going to do that.
Yeah,
that's not realistic.
He's the best finisher around the rim we've ever seen in the history of the basketball game, right? He's got the best handle we've ever seen, arguably, and I would love to have that argument with somebody, but I don't think they're going to do that. Kyrie's going to play as long as he can.
Well, I also think they will second guess the way that contract is structured.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with that,
and we can get into that a little bit later on in the pod. But I think what's happening this season is setting a precedent for the way ownership is going to start addressing these issues.
Absolutely,
I promise you that.
Right.
You can't have something like what James Harden did.
Yeah,
what Anthony Davis did a few seasons prior to that as well. Now, Anthony Davis was actually hurt.
Right.
So it's a little bit different, but it's still along those lines, right?
And we're going to get
the same thing Kawhi did shortly before that, right?
Yeah.
The ownership's going to start saying, hey, look, you know what I'm saying? We're tired of getting bullied out of situations that you agreed upon when you signed that max deal.
Yeah.
And they're going to start taking action, but we'll get into that later.
Yeah, Black, save some of that because we're definitely going to get into how this is affecting the league, going forward. Now, let's get into the trade, the actual asset trades. We have Oladipo going south and some other things. So let's get into the meat and potatoes of the trade. So here are the particulars. The Nets receive James Harden, of course, from the Rockets, a 2024 second-round pick from the Cavs. The Nets receive Jared Allen and Torrent Prince and the rights to Alexander.
Don't even try.
A 57th overall pick. He was the 57th overall pick in 2007. And then let's see, Karis LeVert, which prayers to him, man. He's potentially going to be out for the year with growth that they found during the trading physical. So, and then we have Rondion. Man, we got some players. I
don't know who these guys are.
Right.
Man.
The Rockets.
Hey, shout out to Mark for giving it a shot, man.
The Rockets receive. Okay, so the Nets traded Karis LeVert. The Rockets. Okay, Rockets receive.
The Rockets got Karis LeVert,
and then they traded
the Euro with the last name starting with a K. They got 3 first-round picks and then 3 first-round swaps. From the Nets. They also got Dante Exum, a 2022 first-round pick from Milwaukee, or via Milwaukee from the Cavs. The Rockets then flipped, I believe, Exum and Karis LeVert to Indiana. Dante Exum, or no, Cavs got Dante Exum. Sorry.
Okay.
No, they traded Dante Exum. I believe he's on Indiana with Karis LeVert. Karis LeVert's out indefinitely, and I think Dante Exum is out right now. He's not playing.
Hey, this thing is a mess, fellas.
Man,
thing is a mess.
One player's pouting caused all of
it. This is why we shouldn't force situations. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I think this is a lesson for everybody. Don't force situations, man.
Yeah.
Now the question is the haul that Houston got back substantial? I mean, Oladipo is a player. I think we all can agree on that.
Yeah.
But Oladipo's contract is up after next season, I believe, or after this season.
Yeah, he's a free agent after this season, I believe.
Unrestricted, correct?
Which could serve to help the Rockets. They may be able to move him, you know what I mean, or do some things with him. So I think they did that strategically, honestly. But I think the
basically
Rockets
have his money come off the books, essentially.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not a bad play, but that definitely resets the time. I think that means that they've reset the timeline, right? Like they're not trying to win anytime soon. Yeah. It looks like.
So Oladipo will be a free agent. After this season. Yep, he'll be an unrestricted free agent after this season.
And if I was him, I'd get out of Dodge. I ain't gonna front.
Yeah.
There's no need to stick around.
I wanted to ask you guys, what do you think about what the Nets gave up to get Harden? The fact that they won't be having a pick until Lord knows when. What is your take on that? Do you think that was a good move on their part?
Looking at the structure of that squad with all those volatile players, I don't think so. I don't think so. I think they basically decimated their team in order to win right now.
Yeah.
Hey, look, as long as the Lakers are constructed the way they are, they're not winning right now. Right. That's the problem.
You gotta factor in chemistry. You know what I mean? So and then especially the thing about the Lakers is, LeBron and AD, they're covering literally two parts of the spectrum. LeBron with the ball handling, the assist, AD with the defense, the rebounding, the scoring, and then both can kind of merge into that space of scoring as well. Both can drop 40 at any moment. So I mean, it's the fit is what I want to see. But we have to wait till all three of them come on the floor to do that. I think James Harden will be more of a ball handling playmaker, but I mean, like y'all said, that's the role Kyrie wanted to have, and he had that in Boston, and he didn't like it, and so now he's in Brooklyn. He's got it, but now Kevin Durant's going to be having the ball whenever he wants. Now James Harden is there, so I mean, it just and then Steve Nash is the coach, and Mike D'Antoni is the assistant coach, and Amari Stoudemire is the assistant coach. This is nah.
And then also, all right, let's imagine a scenario where all three of those guys are playing. They bought in, and everything's kosher as far as they're concerned.
Right.
Where's the depth? They get it all up. You got rid of Jarrett Allen, who was your rim protect / finisher, right? He was the best defensive player on your team. Your team was already not great defensively, and you just gave up your best piece. Man. You lost Karis LeVert, who was having a year. He was kind of your second unit, Sweet Lou Will archetype.
Right.
So, now, I mean, your starting lineup looks solidified, but when those guys need to rest, who's playing?
Right. Hey, fellas, I want to show y'all something. This was something that kind of went viral a little bit over the week after the trade went down. Let me show y'all something real quick. This is pretty interesting. I don't know if y'all saw this.
You've over dribbled. You've over dribbled. You've over dribbled. You've over dribbled. I've over dribbled. You fucking over dribbled.
So this is Steve Nash after coaching Kyrie, Katie, and Harden for a week.
There's gonna be a lot of that.
Yep.
A lot of that.
Yeah, man. There's not enough balls to go around. Pause.
Right.
Yeah. It's gonna be interesting, man. So we definitely Brooklyn.
Is Kyrie coming back?
Who knows, man?
He's expressed desire, so we'll see.
Here, before we move on, did Kyrie finesse the Nets into making this trade? That's also a conspiracy theory that I see working online right now.
We be giving Kyrie a lot of credit for that. You know what I mean? We be giving him a lot of intelligence.
Yeah.
Is Kyrie Machiavellian like that?
Borderline diabolical if he did that.
Hey, speaking of diabolical, let's go on to the next section, Mark.
Man. Thank you, Lee. Let's get into this, man, because something happened in 2010 that literally turned the league on its head. A rather husky gentleman named LeBron James decided to take his talents to South Beach and play with his friends. And it seems like it's been an avalanche of players doing their version of that since then. So let's get into it. What has LeBron done? Is he responsible for all of this pouting and movement? And I want to go here and Lee, let's start with you, man. What's your thought?
Hey, man, he literally reclaimed his power as a player, as an athlete, and he's been treating the league like his AAU team. Him and Rich Paul in tandem, because that's the other guy a lot of people don't talk about. Listen,
Puppet master.
Rich Paul. That's like
Careful.
When people say his name, all right.
Careful.
All right. Look, I'll just leave it there. All right.
Hey, look, if you think Rich Paul doesn't have somebody watching No Hesi right now.
Hey, Rich Paul is a master mover and shaker. LeBron has empowered him and elevated him in the agency world, and Rich Paul is pulling multiple strings. He's the puppet master behind the scenes, not only with players but with coaches as well. He represents coaches too. And who's got his hand up Rich Paul's back, right? Bron. So this dude Bron is literally shaping the league. He's moving pieces where he'd like them to be, so that way he can get his chips. Hey, and players have seen that. They've started the process of empowering themselves. It goes much deeper than forcing a trade or signing to a goated or bloated team in free agency. It goes further than that. But you got to start somewhere, right? Yeah. So guys are forcing their way out. They're signing with teams. You know, they're doing what Paul George did, what Kawhi did, what KD did, what James Harden's done. What Giannis was contemplating doing, right? I mean, what AD's done. Listen, man. I mean, this is all over the place now, right? So, it's a beautiful thing, because I like to see the player empowered. I like to see the player being able. Who says management has to decide my future for me, right? So I do like that part about it. At the same time, where does it end? I'll leave it there.
Bron pretty much is on the forefront. He was the pioneer, rather, of the player empowerment movement, as we'll call it, right? With the decision, he pretty much flipped the paradigm, right? Or the narrative, if we will, in this scenario. Right. Where before it was a question of loyalty, right? Like you had your MJs, you had your Magic Johnsons, you had your Kobe Bryants, right? Your Dirk Nowitzkis, and for fans, we were programmed to think that this is how our GOATs should be, right? They should remain loyal to their franchise. Well, Bron came and said, look, Cat's getting traded, without any warning, and contract negotiations be funny. Coaches I need a playmaker.
Right.
Y'all ain't got me a playmaker yet. So with that decision, Bron said, hey, look, I'm writing my own narrative now. I'm making my own decisions. I'm going to be the lay GM, the lay agent, the lay master of my own domain, if you will. Mm-hmm. And what that did was that showed all the young guys like, hey, he's right. I can do that too. I don't know why I'm taking this. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know why I'm taking these weak rosters that they keep putting around me while I goat up. But in doing so, now we've reached the opposite end of the spectrum, right? Where now it's starting to get out of hand. Where cats are literally pouting their way out of a scenario where they might have been given everything, i.e. James Harden. So I think we're reaching a point now where, though LeBron James has definitely empowered the player, I think we're reaching a point where like they need to depower a little bit or empower ownership a little bit more. Because thinking from an owner standpoint, my hands are tied. Like, what can I do? I literally got to trade this man or have this man completely decimate my team. And I personally don't think that is going to work moving forward. It's only going to work so much, I'll say.
Yeah, I think you were saying earlier too, Black, that this is going to force the owners in the next collective bargaining situation to alter things. And somebody's going to get spanked for this. You know, we saw things change in the collective bargaining after post LeBron to Miami. And so it's only going to be another reaction by the ownership, right? They're going to do something to kind of alter this movement. And it's funny while you guys are talking, kind of like the movement going on, the renaissance in the Black community now. Everyone owning something, you know what I mean, starting their own. So it's a beautiful thing. But like how you said, Black, the ownership hands are tied, you know, because the players don't own the teams, you know what I mean?
Right.
They're trying to claim some ownership over their movement. So,
and as a fan, like as a OG hoop fan, I am a fan of a franchise. You know, I love the players while they're in the jersey. Yeah. But at the end of the day, I am ultimately looking for my franchise's success. Now, one other point I will make, Leak, before you play this vid, these guys aren't as good as Bron. That's the difference.
Yeah.
Bron actually goes out there and does the things that he's contracted to do. Some of these other guys want the Bron track, but they're not as good as LeBron James is. And they will never be as good as LeBron James is. So to that point too, it's like, you know, you want to eat like Bron. You want to eat Bron's meals, but you're not, like, you can't afford to eat that. You know what I mean?
Right.
You can't do that.
Hey, cats can't afford that filet McBron, right? That steak well Braun, right? They can't afford that. Right?
That Chateau Brie Braun.
They can't afford that Bron Boulet for dessert, right? You know what I mean? Like, let's roll into this clip. This is pretty interesting. Shout out to the viewers that came in. I see a couple new guys in. Go ahead and hit that. Hit that like, and go ahead and comment. And then
look, this is a very polarizing episode, man.
Yes,
I'll say that right now. There's going to be a lot of cats that don't agree with what's being said on this pod.
They know how to reach us, right? All right, but hey, this was a pivotal moment because you brought up that moment, Black, that I need a effing playmaker, right? So I just thought it would be fitting to run that. So let's see.
Just not a tough uphill climb all night. What do you make of this one?
Just not very good right now. We gotta be better.
Hey, isn't this what James Harden lightweight tried to do?
Exactly what James Harden did.
Word for word.
Yo, he took a page out of Bron's playbook.
Hey, Bron literally is the GOAT of throwing his team under the bus, right? Yeah. The deflection.
Yo, I can't with this dude, man.
Bron is a team.
Hey, look at him twirling his little chinny chin hairs, right? look how unbothered he is too, right? He knows what he's about to do. And he knew he had to put up that stat line in order to do this. Right?
A lot of it is energy and effort, you know. But some of them, first quarter was not that well. We didn't play well all in the first quarter and allowed them to get that lead. And, when you get behind like that, even the shots that you start to play defensively and contest, they was still hitting a bunch of bombs. So just too comfortable to start the game.
When Kyrie scores 49, you get a triple-double. That's probably a game you're going to win usually. Have you guys gotten too reliant on the two of you as a team?
What else we going to
do? Yo, this dude, bro, like, how did he get this comfortable, right?
For the cats that love Bron, I don't understand how, like, you witness the stuff that Kyrie's doing. You witness the stuff that James Harden's doing. You witness the stuff that Kevin Durant, Kawhi Leonard, Paul George have done.
All right.
How do you witness this guy do this stuff and you don't hold him accountable for this?
I will say
Look at this guy.
I totally agree. I will say this. This is the side of LeBron that I don't like, but I think you said it best earlier. He's LeBron. You know what I mean? He is like on that Jordan level. These guys are they're that tier under. You know what I mean?
They're trying to out Bron, right?
Yeah.
They can't do that.
One thing I do want to bring up too, sorry to cut you off, Leak. One thing I want to bring up too is the Bron's situation right now, him being in the Lakers organization with AD and being able to fleece all those players has caused this reaction where cats want to go to Brooklyn or cats are like, yo, I want out of this. I need somewhere where I can go and contend against the Lakers because I don't want to see Bron win again. Mm-hmm. That's the league we're in right now. Also, all this movement is because LeBron James basically goaded up into an organization and a situation where now he's in position for a repeat, right?
Yeah.
Look, I think that a lot of it, and I'm just piggybacking off what you said, Black. I think a lot of it is it's the end game for Bron, right? That's what a lot of cats are seeing now because Bron did that in Miami. He got out of there when Pat Riley he got his chips. Pat Riley wouldn't give him the control he wanted, so he went back to Cleveland, right, where they were begging for him to come back. So he went back there. He won a championship, and he saw once the front office started kind of dropping the ball a little bit, he decided that this isn't the place for me, and he dipped out to LA. Now in LA, he was there with all the young assets, a couple like top 5 lottery picks, right? He got those out and brought in AD. Prior to that, Rich Paul became AD's agent, right? Mm-hmm. And then Rich Paul had AD force his way out of New Orleans. Lakers just happened to have the assets that New Orleans knew they couldn't pass on. Mm-hmm. So Bron got his guy. He basically pushed New Orleans he put New Orleans in a double straights, right? Put their back against the wall. Mm-hmm. Now with Rich Paul having his own office in the Lakers organization, and Bron being there, AD being there, and Jeannie being the owner that she is, right? Being a much more lenient, progressive, liberal owner, right? Players. So now Bron literally has control over that organization, and he delivered a championship.
What's Rob Pelinka doing right now?
Rob Pelinka he's working with Rich Paul in tandem to make sure that Bron has everything he needs. All right, that's what Rob Pelinka's role is, right? And Magic Johnson being a co-conspirator, right? He's the one who met LeBron 10 minutes after free agency at his house. You know what I mean? To tell LeBron this is what you're going to be able to do here. Mm-hmm. So I think players are seeing the end game. Bron has control over a whole franchise from the office down to the court. All right. I think that's what players want. Now, with great power comes great responsibility. I don't think nobody else can handle this type of responsibility. Only the GOAT can do this, right?
And see, and the thing that Bron also has done differently is he empowered his boy to get into the sports agency game. Man, these guys want to do what Bron's doing, but they don't have a Rich Paul, right?
Right.
Like they don't have
a Rich Paul, right?
They don't have a homie that pretty much can finesse these moves while Bron worries about hoop, right? Which is why Bron's able to get these stat lines and do the things he does on the floor, because basically Rich Paul is his proxy off court, right?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Rich Paul is converting numbers into players for Bron. You know what I mean? Right? He's literally flipping contracts, working out the deets to make sure Bron has what he needs. It's exceptional. It's exceptional. But I'm gonna keep running this. I'm gonna run this real quick. By the way, look at the crop. Right? Hey, this is how you know.
Stress.
Yo, I was gonna say, this is how you know, like Bron, all this was calculated. He didn't spray the black ice before the game. He wanted to look stressed. He wanted to look, like essentially as if there's something's got to give. You know what I mean? That's really what the look is saying, right? Yeah, that's what his look is saying, right? Something's got to get. You can even see where the hair is growing back right here from the side. Yeah.
Oh my Lord.
All right, man. Yo, let me run this clip, man.
I try to mix in my plays. We didn't have no choice.
I just mean in general, though.
Listen, we got what we got, and it's just one of those games where Kyrie had it going and he kept it going, and for me, I wasn't trying to force anything. I was taking what the defense gave me, got my guys involved, got some rebounds, but some games like that,
What is that?
What?
What was that?
What?
He's always particularly saying, like, my narrative. Like, don't play with me. You know the narrative.
I've told you several times that we need a playmaker. Kyrie is a maniac out there on the floor. All right. I can't calm him down. Okay. But see, hey, he was hoping they traded for Chris Paul this year. Chris Paul.
This right here was when LeBron. This right here was the seed plant for LeBron moving to point guard officially, right?
Yep.
Because he needed a playmaker, right? So let's see.
Do you think Davis being out could have?
And shout out to the comments. We're gonna get to y'all in a minute. Just bear with us. Let us run through this. We're gonna get with y'all.
Hey, look, we're building a narrative. All right.
I'm on my Rich Paul right now, right? I'm behind the scenes building a narrative. Just wait on it.
Well, we had a game plan as if he was playing this morning, and didn't know that he wasn't playing until 30 minutes on the clock. So,
right, who's he talking about right here?
Man,
they asked him about somebody coming off the bench or somebody not playing today.
Right. Yeah, he just basically called somebody unreliable, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, let's go ahead.
Game plan as if he was playing, guys involved, got some rebounds, but some games like that, you know
my narrative.
Do you think Davis being out could have subconsciously affected the intensity of you guys coming in at all?
Davis?
We had a game plan as if he was playing this morning.
That was.
And didn't know that he wasn't playing until 30 minutes on the
But some Bron body that's purgatory right now, right?
We don't know where he is.
Some foreign Bron body.
Hey, look, he never played another game in the league after this. Best believe that.
So some Bron body in Lithuania right now, right? Somebody starred in the China League right now, right?
the clock, so we had to switch our whole game plan, which kind of, was just tough, an adjustment period, but we still have to, be better than that.
What kind of challenges does Terrence Jones provide?
He had a great game.
I said tonight you had too many minutes, but just in general, I think you're leading the league or close to it in minutes, and you've said all along you feel great, you want to play. Are you comfortable with where your minutes are right now, or are they too high right now? 43 is, I'm not.
Yo, he's got the reporters in lockstep with his narratives. You know what I mean?
They're asking all the right questions.
They're asking all the right questions, bro. And
hey, as a player too, for you to comment on how many minutes you're playing, you're throwing your coach under the bus at that point, right?
Yo, this dude,
elite level passivity by LeBron James, right?
Right. Hey, Bron's in the ether like this right now, right?
Leak, where does he say we need a playmaker, man?
Let me see.
Right now, we're just trying to get out of the hole, and coach will figure it out, and We got to figure it out as far as minutes too.
Hey, he
but
better figure it out.
Right.
we just got to be better at this.
Isn't David Black was gone after that, right? Okay.
Game is going down right now, or being fresh down the stretch. We got to be good right now, and we're not right. We're not right now.
Do you think you guys are used to the target factor? I mean, certainly this group has had it since you came back here in 2014.
Yeah, what's up with all these mannerisms too?
He ain't never touched himself this much in a post-game interview.
Yo, what?
Hey, that's the little
right.
Ball-headed lie.
Hey, he's a pushback lie, man.
That we always know, no matter who we're going against, no matter the record, teams are gonna play better against us. It's just, especially on the road, the crowd is going to be excited. It's going to be sold out for most of the games. They're going to feed off their crowd. And, Drew, being a, really, really solid, point guard in this league, had a hell of a game as far as Terrence Jones. But their bench came in and gave him a spark. I don't remember last time I seen Monty Eunice on the court, to be honest. And he came in and gave him a spark. Those guys just stay ready.
Oh, this ain't it. All right, this ain't it, man. I thought that was it. My fault, fellas. I mean,
we know he was top heavy as you know what.
Yeah, yeah, that was the one. That was
yeah,
one.
that was the one.
Yeah, the top heavy.
All right, yo, let's real quick. Let's run so please hit the like button, y'all. Shout out to Skip. Absolutely, hit that like button, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you can be notified when we go live. Let's see. LeBron gathered his teammates like the Power Rangers, trying to collect rings like Thanos. Facts.
Bron looks like Thanos. He definitely looks like Thanos. That's for sure.
That Bron Rich Paul combo is crazy for clicking up teams. Facts. LeBron is the first ever active player / president of basketball operations.
These are all facts, no lies.
LeBron needs to gather hair follicles like he gathers players for his teams.
Shout out to Maestro. Hey, Maestro gunning for number 1 right now.
Yeah. I agree with y'all
gunning for number 1.
Hey, no cap, Maestro. I agree with. Hey, Maestro's rocking with the narrative, right? Hey, it's a very these are very acquired narratives, Maestro. So we definitely appreciate you.
Yeah, I definitely just I'm wondering where this ends, right? With the players being so empowered, which, like I said, I think we all can agree that was necessary. That was a necessary step.
Right.
But I'm waiting for the pushback. I know the pushback's coming. You know what I mean? The next bargaining agreement or whatever, I know pushback's coming. Shout out to Chris Paul too, who also was instrumental in player empowerment as well with the negotiations as the president of the NBA PA. Chris Paul definitely had a hand in Bron James having the ability to do what he's done so far.
Absolutely. Well, Bron is definitely linked up with CP in order to have him assist him behind the scenes on his legitimate and his narrative building. I mean, you would have to have somebody on the inside in order to accomplish what he's done, right? Rich Paul, as far as in the buildings, in the organizations, in the ownership,
checking the
conversations, and then you got Chris Paul, who's with the Players Association, right? So he's got his hand in that, right? You know what I mean? So Bron's just literally working the different rooms. Look, Nate Curry, it's crazy y'all doing this till the Briggity on MLK Day.
Hey, look, we can't be open and honest on Martin Luther King Day. We got a lie on Martin Luther King Day.
Is that where we at, Nate? We gotta tell a lie on MLK Day. Look,
we gotta falsify facts on MLK Day.
Look, man, MLK's got a face for you, Nate. All right, look. This is, right. That's how MLK is looking at Nate. Like, really, you go pull me into this? Now let me start. Hey, shout out to MLK, man.
Yeah, man.
Hey, No Hesi is wild, right? No Hesi is wild.
Hey, listen, hey, if you don't like No Hesi, you know where to go, all right?
Right.
Hey, go to Bill Simmons and Skip Bayless for your hoop takes, all right?
Look,
Man, fellas.
it's
But I
nonstop.
think
Oh yeah, go ahead.
no, I was gonna say I think to put a good, nice bow on it, like how you said, it's the infrastructure that LeBron has that maybe these other players don't have. Yeah, you got to have hands everywhere to really pull off what LeBron has. So
you got to machinate, man.
Yeah,
you got to machinate.
So, fellas, let's go to some other news in the NBA. We're talking about the new COVID rules, man. We've had, like how you all stated earlier, a lot of the postponed games, and
hey, this week was crazy.
It was crazy. It was crazy. A lot of cases confirmed, a lot of contact tracing. So let's really get into what the league and Adam Silver is doing to kind of save the season, So these are some different things that are going to be put into practice. So until at least January 26th, players, coaches, and team staff members are required to remain at home when in their home market, unless they are attending team-related activities, exercising outside, performing essential activities, or going out for what the league termed extraordinary circumstances. Also, for at least the next 2 weeks, when away from team activities, players should avoid interacting with people who do not live or regularly work in their homes. On the road, players and staff will be prohibited from leaving the team hotel except for team activities or emergencies, and will be barred from interacting with non-team guests at the hotel. Man, there's a lot of stuff going on. Let's see. Face coverings are now mandatory for players on the bench at all times, except when players sit down in cool down chairs after exiting a game and they're at least 12 feet away. So, guys, what do you think about some of these rules that the league is throwing down, man?
Hey, listen, man. I know we're gonna get into this in the next segment, but listen, man. Hey, nobody listening to Adam Silver, bruh. Like all this, man. Look, prohibit and words of that nature. These guys don't really care about what Adam Silver is putting forth, bruh. They don't respect this man, bruh.
Yeah.
But let's be honest, man. If they did, Kyrie wouldn't be doing what he's doing right now. All right. So all that being said, I mean, I'm working in narrative right now, and Leek, I'm gonna throw it to you. But I mean, these guys, let's be honest. These are young athletes with money and power in the league. Essentially, these rules are saying don't see women when you're on the road, right?
Right.
Essentially, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Basically, this is a no thought rule, if you will.
Right. Absolutely.
And I'm gonna leave it at that. I mean, listen, my sources are very close to this situation. They've been telling me that the contact tracing that we're hearing about is absolutely tied to the relationships with players and their women off court. We're not going to get into that on No Hesi, but just know that this narrative is in the works. Lee?
Hey, man, shout out to Maestro. I definitely agree with what you're saying, Black. This is similar to like a no thought zone, I would say. And also, what I'm really hung up on was is that where is that one at about no
Oh yeah, League.
No, there it is. Before and after game, players are only allowed to. What were we gonna say, Mark? What were we gonna say?
No, I was going. Yeah, that bottom one right there.
Before and after players are only allowed to greet. Before and after games, players are only allowed to greet each other with elbow or fist bumps. They have been asked to avoid extending social lives. Like what? What? First of all, they can only elbow and fist bump, but they're touching the basketball with their fingertips all night. They're fouling players with their fingertips all night. They're hitting their heads to tell the ref, like, you know what I mean, like, yo, call the foul, you know what I mean, like, all like, so why it just doesn't make sense. And then also told to avoid extending socializing, right? So now we can't build chemistry with each other the way that we want to, you know what I mean? So all these things remind me of CDC guidelines for civilians, as far as like social distancing, quarantining, things like that. And quite frankly, I believe it's all some narrative coming down on us. I really do. For players asked not to greet each other other than elbows or fist bumps when they actually touch the ball with their hands all game. The whole object of why everybody is there is to use their fingers to touch the So I mean, I think it's ridiculous. I think this is showing Adam Silver. This, it's almost like his hand is he's holding the sword, right, that David Stern gave him, and it's almost like the moisture from the nervous sweat, right, is starting to loosen his grip, and he can't help it. He can't help it. So
and my I have two questions, or two comments rather, in this situation. One, how does this mesh with the NBA Players Association's agreement that they already made in order to come back, right? They already had rules in place. The players agreed upon this, and that was why we have this season that we have right now.
Right.
That's my first comment. The second comment is, why even continue to play if you have to do all of this in order to keep people from catching COVID? Then COVID is too big for you to finish this season.
Yeah, that almighty dollar. That's it.
Because it's like at this point, I mean, are we going to get to the point where they're going to have to hoop with masks like high school basketball players are doing right now?
Hey, Black, remember earlier in the pandemic, I said that. I said, imagine Braun coming up court, right, with some type of mask on, right? Yeah. I saw the vision. And the mask can be done by Nike, right? Or some type of,
you know, like some type of Bane mask, right?
Exactly. So I already seen it. I think that is going to be where we're going. I'm not sure if it's going to be this season or maybe in the playoffs they roll that out. They're going to have a rollout for mask. I seen cats in high school wearing masks, so I can definitely see
an
the
athletic mask too. That's got money written all over it as well, right?
Right.
I mean, the one thing I will say though is going down that rabbit hole for a sec, athletes wearing or hoopers wearing masks, that kind of takes away from the star power, right? Because what separates basketball from football and other sports is you can actually see their face. Yep. But if I'm on the court looking like this the whole time, like now you don't have the money maker. You know what I'm saying? So obviously that's a side note thought. But I'll say to this, looking at these rules, looking at the fact that we're getting more and more games postponed based on COVID, looking at the fact that I don't believe players are going to be able to keep up with these rules, you could pretty much forget about fans coming back to the arenas.
Yeah,
fellas. If you bought season tickets, you looking like a fool right now. I'll tell you that.
And I think it bears the question: do we go bubble? I mean, do they eventually have to go bubble again, man? I mean, in the playoffs or something, later on down the season. So we're gonna wait and see on that. But you touched on something, Black. Let's dig on that, man. Adam Silver, is he not David Stern enough? Talk about it. Black, I'll start with you, man. What do you think, man? Is his willingness to be a player's owner, is that hurting him now? Are players just saying, man, to heck with you, man?
Man, I had the thought leading up to this pod, and it came to me. I was at work, and I was just thinking about the James Harden and the Kyrie situations and how, essentially they were poo-pooing the logo, essentially, right, in favor of their own personal brand. And I was just thinking to myself, David Stern would never allow this.
Never.
Now, That being said, I think David Stern was almost extreme when it came to the way he commissioned. But to that regard, I think Adam Silver is almost on the opposite end of the spectrum, right? Yeah. Where he's so much of a player's commish that these guys just feel like they could do whatever. And it's almost like, you know, you're working for that company and, you know, you got that boss that's just cool with everybody. You know, he invites y'all over for the little holiday party and he gets a little too turned up. So now going back into work, cats are taking advantage of that. You know what I mean? Cats calling in sick more often. Cats popping off to management. You know what I mean? That's the scenario we're in right now in the league. And that's what Adam Silver created. Right off jump, first thing Adam Silver did was he 86 racist ownership, right? Got Donald Sterling out of there. And what he wanted to establish with that is, hey, guys, hey, I hear you. I hear where you guys are coming from. This isn't David Stern's NBA anymore. This is the Adam Silver era. We're getting that type of stuff out of there. And for that, I think we all can agree we're appreciative, right? Right? And, you know, side note, I'm sure Sterling's not the only one that feels the way he felt, but
right,
you know what I mean? We're appreciative for Adam Silver for that and for kind of springboarding into player empowerment. But I think we've reached a point where cats are now starting to take advantage of Adam Silver's kindness. And I just don't think he's got enough guts to turn the tide back in favor of ownership at this point. What do you guys think about that?
All right. That's a
we
very
potting today, y'all.
Yeah.
Hey, we going in today.
Right. That's a very intuitive narrative, Black. I would say that's intuitive. I'm gonna say that Adam Silver as a commissioner will be made or will be broken by COVID-19. I'm gonna go out and say that. I think all the things that he's done prior to this have been great, have been wonderful, have been excellent. The league has felt fresh, it's felt reinvigorated, energized, fresh new talent, right? From coaching, from young coaches to players. He's even talking about he's got the G League popping again, right? You know what I mean? So, or prior, this is all prior to COVID, I'll say. Right. So we all been singing Adam Silver's praises as a Saint, even during this whole process. Now that we're in COVID, just like pretty much the world prior to 2020, nothing else matters before that, right? So how Adam Silver handled the bubble, I'm with that. I like that, right? It just seems like guys are not taking it as serious as Adam Silver wants them to, and that's an authority thing, right? Like if your parents want you to take school seriously, but you decide, no, I don't care about it, I don't care. Well, they've got an authority issue, right? But if they're effective, then you will understand and you will take school seriously. Adam Silver, the players don't see him as an authority figure. They don't see him as a figure hovering over the league, making sure all the dots and the I's are in place. I mean, all the T's, all the crosses and the I's are in place. I think Adam Silver is going to be made or break on how he responds to this whole COVID situation. And it's not just the bubble. It's the bubble. It's this season. It's the playoffs coming up. And it's the start of next season. How is all this going to look? And honestly, I think that it's going to continue to get worse. I think it's going to continue to get worse. I think Adam Silver is bent over backwards. Let me not use that imagery. I think Adam Silver has his hands tied with all the sponsors, right? The ownership, making sure that the games continue on, so that way the money can be generated. But you know what, Adam Silver, I do think he's got a mean streak in him. I think he's just playing the role and not letting it out. I think he's got a nasty whipping board in him. You know what I mean? I think he's got a mean leather whip, right, that he could use to put everybody back in line. It's just a matter of when does he feel it is right to pull this card on, to
drop the hammer.
Exactly. So he's going to be made or break on how he handles whether he drops the hammer or doesn't drop the hammer, or when he does, right? That's what I got to say about it.
You're right, Leak. He was in a groove. right? And it seemed like the NBA was flourishing. He basically took what Stern brought with the international aspect and expanded upon that. And players seemed happy. Everybody was going crazy, right?
Nate, shout out to Nate Curry, man. Give him praise for letting all the players smoke blunts too. Worst year to a lot of players to roll up and share blunts.
I think Adam Silver has done a lot of great things for the league, right? Let me be clear about that. But if I'm an owner, I'm looking at Adam Silver like, bruh.
I'm pissed.
Bruh. Hey, we losing bread. My team's losing bread.
Right.
I gotta kind of placate to the star.
Right. I got a kowtow. And guys are forcing their way out of here, right?
Right. I'm giving these guys everything that I possibly can with what I have, and that's just not good enough, is it, Adam? What are you gonna do about that, Adam? And I think if he's receiving pressure from both sides, players don't respect him, owners got a problem with him. He's gonna have to drop the hammer, right? At some point.
Look,
I just imagine Adam Silver in his office with his head like steam coming out of his ears, his face red. Somebody opens the door, he goes back to normal. Oh, hey, how's it going?
I think we're seeing a lot of what we're seeing in society. It's a microcosm of what's going on in society. The players are tired of being locked in. They're slowly rebelling against the authorities. And you guys are right. It's all about how much will Adam Silver take? How long can he take this? You know what I mean? And he will be made, like Malik said, he'll be made or broken by when he decides and how hard he decides to put that hammer down. So,
do you guys, before we move on, man? Hey, look, I wouldn't be Black Mo, man, if I didn't create controversy here on No Hesi. Do you guys?
Adam Silver deciding if he should drop hammer or not, right?
Do you guys think that Adam Silver is also in a precarious situation because the stars, let's be honest, the NBA is predominantly black, right?
Right.
As far as stars are concerned.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that Adam Silver feels like his hands are tied because of the climate?
Yeah, that has a lot to do with it.
Question, Black. That's an excellent question.
I mean, you got to think
because he can only drop the hammer so hard, right?
Right. Go ahead, Mark.
Before we take off, and before No Hesi does a whole expose on Adam Silver. Right?
I think that's a great point because, dude, you got the players threatening to leave every time another brother gets assaulted by the police. Right. They're literally threatening games. He knows that. So he knows, dang, I got that on one end. I got COVID. I can't be too hard on this COVID. These guys are already on edge. He's dealing with a bunch of black players on edge right now.
Hey, he said, I gave y'all weed. What else do you want? Listen, I gave you weed. I gave you a Supermax contract opportunity.
Yo, listen, man. We really pulling the file on Adam Silver right now. Yeah, it's crazy. Hey, and that's what I mean when I said I think Adam Silver does have a heavy hammer or strong, or yeah, right. Or strong whip, so to speak, right? You know what I mean? Or binded leather, you know what I mean? I definitely Adam Silver.
Are you accusing Adam Silver of being a masochist?
I mean, does Adam Silver look like a masochist? So the thing is, he's got it in him. You don't make it this far in business, right?
Right.
You don't make it to this level of corporate leadership without being able to drop hammer. So the thing is, Adam Silver definitely has his hands tied with all these players being black and emotional, right? The climate that we're in, also the way that ownership has been handled for a while, and the things that have came out about ownership, and especially in an era with the guy we just spent a segment analyzing, LeBron James, right? Adam Silver is definitely has his hand tied, and if he drops hammer too hard, he does become the enemy of the players and essentially of the black culture.
Right.
If he doesn't
Right.
drop hammer hard enough, like Maestro said, the owners are going to start pushing back, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Adam Silver he's like I said, he's in double straits right now.
Yeah.
Adam Silver, he's between a rock and a hard place, right? Usually when people have their backs against the wall, their true nature comes out. And I was going to call him Adam Sandler. Adam Silver doesn't necessarily come off as a violent man, but I'll say this, man. You never know what you're going to get with these people sometimes. And by that, I mean, let's just say people with the immense power. All right.
Right.
So I definitely look at this image right here as a precursor to Adam Silver, essentially taking off the cap and the mask and pulling out the hammer,
pulling out the buzzsaw. Yo, I know we're extending this segment a little long, but I also wanted to say this too. Like, player empowerment is a beautiful thing within the structure of the NBA as it's currently set up, right? There's a lot of white ownership, right? Mm-hmm. But the star power is predominantly black. But the NBA is also a progressive league,
right?
So it's like it's acceptable now for us in a way because ownership is historically white and star power is historically black. But as we move into the future, where we talk about Michael Jordan owning a team, where we talk about LeBron James potentially owning a team, where we talk about ownership groups that are becoming more on the quote unquote minority, is this behavior acceptable moving forward as far as pouting to get a trade, just not showing up to work, not saying nothing? I feel like the narrative completely changes when we look at it from that landscape. So that being said, I think it would behoove the league to start giving the ownership a little bit more say-so. Otherwise, who knows what the league's looking like in a few years down the line. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So to that point, Black, what is because Maestro summed it up very well. Black players versus white ownership dynamic. Adam Silver is in a bind. It seems like what you're saying, Black, is that Adam Silver, what might be a good narrative for him is to kind of empower the owners slightly a bit under the table to allow them to come down on the players. That way Adam Silver could sit back with his hands up. You know what I mean?
Right.
So,
I know from dealings with the NFL, ownership puts commissioner in place to be the fall guy. You know what I mean? He's works for the ownership.
Right.
Really get into the weeds of it. So he's definitely in a vicarious situation.
Hey, and it will behoove Adam Silver to get more black ownership, right?
Yeah.
Hey, if he had black ownership, they could drop the hammer for him, right?
Yeah.
Right.
on some boule type stuff, right? Like they could drop the hammer for him, reprimand the black players, and nobody can say a word, right?
But I do have some like actionable a actionable solution though to these trade demands real quick, and I want to see what you guys think about that, because I don't want to just drop narratives with no type of like solution based rhetoric.
That's very responsible of you, Black.
Yes, I think a great idea moving forward in the next negotiation would be that if you're signed to a contract and you no longer feel like the other side is meeting what you agreed upon as a player, you can demand a trade, but you will be docked a percentage. Basically, you got to buy yourself out of that contract.
I like that.
15% of your contract will go to you basically paying for your trade. And as ownership, I'm good with that. I get some money back.
Right.
I get the headache out of here, and now we can move forward amicably. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I think that that's a solution that would actually be in the benefit of all parties. And it'll really make a player think, do I want to give up some of this contract? Or do I want to sit down and make this work with the contract that I've already agreed upon? How do y'all feel about that?
Look, I like that a lot. Correct me if I'm wrong, but like if a guy has $164 million max deal, 15% to buy himself out of that contract would be $24 million. So that's a great
As
idea.
As an owner, I'm good.
Right.
Yeah,
because that's another salary for another player that's making really good money. I mean, a really good player to make some money. Absolutely, I agree.
Absolutely.
That's a great point.
And as the receiver on the other side of it as well, now I don't gotta take on that fat contract that could decimate my roster. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Now I like that. It gives the ownership some type of insurance policy for if a player becomes disgruntled. Yep.
Yeah,
I like
that. I think that could work. Well,
Hey,
fellas,
Adam Silver, if you're watching No Hesi, I'll only charge you a nominal fee for that info. All right. Hey, how's 15% sound of your salary? All right.
Yes, man, that was very responsible for you to come up with that idea. I think that could work, man. But let's move on, guys, to the final segment of this week's show, which is the Week 5 Pick'em. And as we do, as is customary here, everyone in the comments, feel free to throw up your winners of each Pick'em along with the fellas, man. It's gonna be fun. So let's get right into it. On the 18th, we have San Antonio Spurs versus the Portland Trailblazers. And Leak, we're going to start with you.
I got Portland.
Black?
I am going to take Portland as well.
All right. The next game we have is Golden State Warriors versus the Los Angeles Lakers. Black, we'll start with you.
First and foremost, I was hoping, you know what I'm saying? I was hoping our resident Golden State Warriors fan was in the comments. I don't see him this week. Shout out to him. I know he must be busy. Shout out to Ramon. But obviously I'm going with the Lakers, man. Come on.
Who you got, Lee?
I got the Lakers as well. I don't need to bloviate. I got the Lakers.
All right. On the 19th, we have the Pelicans versus Utah Jazz. Leak, who you got?
I got the Pelicans. Lonzo's out, and I think the Pelicans are looking really good without him.
I'm going with Utah.
All right. Also that day we have Oklahoma City Thunder versus the Denver Nuggets. Black, we'll start with you.
I'm going with Denver.
Okay.
Hey, Jokic look real nice right now too, man.
Yeah,
absolutely. I got Denver as well. I'm a bet with Denver as well.
All right. On the 20th, we have the Brooklyn Nets versus the Cavs. Leak, we'll start with you.
I got Brooklyn. Considering all things we've just said, I got Brooklyn.
I'm gonna go with Brooklyn as well.
All right. Also that day, we have the Celtics versus the Philadelphia 76ers. Black, we'll start with you.
I'm going with the Sixers, man. They look real nice.
Look nice.
I also have
COVID aside.
I also have the Sixers as well. Yeah.
We got our
LaMelo for the timeline, him adjusting himself. You know what I mean?
Look like pause. Look like LaMelo is peeing on the competition.
hey, it's big ball gang over here, man. You know what I'm saying?
It looked like he's marking the court.
Right. All right. So on the 21st, we have the Lakers versus the Bucks. Leak, we'll start with you.
I got the Lakers, obviously, yes.
Okay.
Black, it's in Milwaukee too. I'm gonna go with the Lakers on that.
Okay. Also that day we had the New York Knicks going head up with the Golden State Warriors. Let's go with you, Black, on this one.
Man. This is tough, actually. I ain't gonna front.
Yeah.
You know what? Hey, I'm gonna take the Knicks, man. No skin off my back.
I got the Warriors for sure. I got the Warriors.
All right. On the 22nd, we have the Chicago Bulls going against the aforementioned LaMelo Ball and the Charlotte Hornets. Who you got, Lee?
I got Charlotte. I'm rocking with Melo, man.
MJ Lowy sicking his first round pick on his old franchise.
Right.
I'm going with Charlotte.
All right. Also that day, we had the New York Knicks versus the Sacramento Kings. Black, who you got on that one?
Man, Kings look terrible right now, but I hate to bet against them in this one. I'm going with the Kings.
Who you got, Lee?
I got the Kings as well. I'm gonna rock with the Kings. I'm gonna give them a shot.
All right. On the 23rd, we have the Miami Heat going against the Brooklyn Nets. Leak, who you got?
I got Brooklyn again. It's gonna be hard to bet against Brooklyn. I ain't gonna front.
Who you got, Black?
I'm gonna take Miami in this one.
All right. Also that day, we have the Nuggets going head up with the Phoenix Suns. Black, who you got?
I'm gonna go with Phoenix, man. I've been rocking with Phoenix all year. I'm gonna keep going with that.
Okay.
I got Phoenix as well.
All right. And for the final day, we have on the 24th, Charlotte Hornets versus the Orlando Magic. Leak, who you going with?
I'm gonna definitely go with Charlotte, man. Definitely go with Charlotte.
I'm taking Orlando.
Okay. And for the final game, we have the Atlanta Hawks going against the Milwaukee Bucks. Black, who you got? Yeah.
You said the Atlanta Hawks?
Yeah.
I'm taking the Bucks, man.
All right. Leak, who you got?
Man, Atlanta, hey, Trae Young has been trash to me, bro. I ain't gonna front, man. And I saw a narrative going on about how he's an undersized, selfish chucker who forces his offensive repertoire on everybody on the court. His coach doesn't have a handle on him. His teammates are complaining about him. John Collins wants out. I mean, this guy, he's turned into a cancer very quickly.
Hey, he's shooting like 32% from three, which is supposed to be a specialty. 36% from field goal. Period. I mean, I thought he was supposed to be a shooter.
Man. Hey, look, Melo, Rookie of the Year and Sixth Man of the Year. Hey, if Coach keep playing, he gonna get both of them. Right.
Yeah.
Hey, but to answer your question, who are the Hawks? I got whoever is playing against the Hawks. Okay?
It's the Bucks.
The Bucks.
Okay, yeah, I got the Bucks. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool, man. So those are the picks for this week. Yeah, man. We had a great show today, fellas. How you guys feel about what's going on? Any last words?
This was an extremely polarizing episode. I feel like if you don't like No Hesi, if you didn't like No Hesi before, you lightweight not rocking with No Hesi. But thanks to everybody who watched. Much love and appreciation to you guys. You guys make the show, and you make it worth coming on the show to talk with you guys. So shout out to y'all.
Hey, man. I got a second what Black said. First of all, shout out to the chat. Shout out to all the viewers. Make sure you hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell. So whenever we go live, you will get that ding and be able to hop in and go at it in these comments, because that's what is happening every Monday. All right. With that being said, like Black said, if you weren't rocking with No Hesi before, you dang sure ain't rocking with us now. But if you love No Hesi before, then I'm pretty sure we've grown even closer. Right? Listen, man, we got to call it like we see it. We can't act like these things aren't happening, from socially to government-wise to leadership-wise, down to the players and what they're doing. Look, we're pulling the chair out from everybody, all right? We want to see good league, good basketball, good leadership, and we want to see, thriving individuals as well as collectives. So shout out to everybody that was, let's see, I like healthy debates. Yeah, absolutely, Maestro. I like arguing b-ball. Yeah, y'all product. Hey, appreciate it. He called
Appreciate
the podcast legit. So
Shout out to Emil, man.
Yeah.
Hey, me and
absolutely.
him go way back, man.
Yeah.
We go way back.
Like 4 flats. Okay, so the Hornets Wizards game just got postponed. Appreciate that, Victor.
Wow.
Okay, so Adam Silver, he's somewhere snapping that belt.
Hey, Adam Silver is hating this too because it's like, yo, the schedule's set, bruh. Hey, how we replay these games, bruh?
Right. No Hesi is the one that's putting that spotlight on Adam Silver, melting that makeup, right? We're the ones doing that, right? Nobody else is gonna do it. You know what I mean? So No Hesi is necessary.
Hey, and you can track back, y'all. Go back, watch some of the old episodes, man.
Yes.
Right.
Hey, look, just as much as we're here to eat crow when we're wrong, we also need that flour when we're right. All right. And I guarantee you, we're right more than we're wrong.
Absolutely,
man. So yeah, we hope you all enjoyed this episode, man. We had a great time, and man, without further ado, man, we out of here. We're gonna holler at you guys on the next podcast.
Peace.